Hello. How are you guys all doing? All right, this is already going to be a very funny one. And I'll tell you why in just in just a moment. So let's see first. Ooh, I'm brushing Professor Poof and his little hairs are kind of delicately floating around me. All right. Let's see. Hello from Disney World. The Lady Elaine, you're in Disney. I was just telling my mom how badly I want to go there. I have not been in at least 10 years. So I'm trying to think. Jody is in Vermont. Hi, Jody. Let's see. Oh, Scotland. Haley. Hi. What what time is it in Scotland? I would imagine is it 6 hours then? No, no, no. Wait, is it? I don't know. It might be midnight in Scotland for all I know. Hello from Edinburgh, Scotland. Hello, Christine. What a beautiful name. It's 23. So does that mean it's 11 o'clock? Wow, okay. Let's see. Hello from New York. Did we have a lot of rain yesterday? Hardly any. So today was just the most incredibly beautiful day. I tend not to go outside a ton, which is kind of funny. But I had to run an errand today and I was like, oh my gosh, it's starting to look like fall. And I would say the weather was like perfectly very, very fall. So, okay, let's see. Hello from Phoenix. Ooh, is it Desiree? Desiree? Hello from Phoenix, Arizona. I bet it is nice and toasty. Oh, hello, it's midnight in France. Ooh, France sounds very fun right now. I think I had mentioned I started doing like um, Duolingo to see if I could figure it out or kind of, and I think I got a little frustrated and I stopped. And then I had a friend over who speaks French and she was telling me about like, you have to watch French films and watch them with the English subtitles and then switch. And so maybe that's something I'm gonna get back into because it's such a beautiful sounding language. Oh, poof. He's been a little, let's see, I don't think you guys can see him at all. He's been a little sweetheart lately. I don't know what's going on with him here. People need to know you're here, so I'm gonna pick you up for just a moment. Oh, God. Say hello. Yeah, he doesn't. Oh, oh my gosh. He's so cute. He's the funniest little, oh my gosh. You can't see what he's doing, but he just flipped on his back and is like, it's time to have my belly touched. Let's see, what breed is he? He's a Seal Point Himalayan. Um, and I just, oh my gosh. So the room we're in right now is the summer room. It's called the summer room. It's the largest bedroom in the house, and it's one of the very prettiest. And I'm going to do an entire Siamese theme in here. So all of the colors are going to be like creams, sort of transitioning to like chocolates. And it's going to be, but I'm also doing like blushes and pinks in here. So that is a wallpaper that I'll be creating. And there's going to be like Siamese kitties and poof is going to be in there too. So it's going to be very, very fun. I'm hoping I do that project this coming year. So, oh my gosh. Did you guys like the guest room? Have we not talked since the guest room episode went up? I don't I don't think we have we? I don't remember what day we did the live stream last month. I don't think I've actually been able to like chat with you guys about it. Wait, I say yes. I have a really bad memory. So anyhow, the guest room is finally done and I get to like move on to doing like other fun things, which I'm so beyond thrilled about. Let me tell you something that I was able to pull off. He's so distracting. I wish you guys could see just how ridiculously cute he is. Oh, I was going to tell you, I might have broken my finger just before we started filming. It's turning funny colors. I don't think you can see it, but I was trying to reach for something and I didn't realize there was something in the way and I hit my finger and I hit it kind of really hard. So it's not killing me, but it's definitely turning funny colors. Can I bend? I can. It sounds disgusting. I almost wonder if I like pushed the skin back and it punctured the bone. I don't, you know what? Okay. I love brushing you, but you were just creating. So all these lights are hitting me. And so from my vantage point, I can see anything that sort of floats up, and it's just like the seaweed of little poof hairs coming up in my face. Let's see. Okay. I'm trying to think. Oh my gosh, we have so much fun stuff to talk about. I'm really excited about this live stream. I was just telling the captive about that. Oh my gosh. This is, by the time this episode is done, I'm probably going to be webbed into this corner with just tons of cat hair sort of pulling in like poof. It's going to be, he would make an amazing spider, by the way. Try ice and see. Okay. Ooh. It's weird that it's turning like this funny color, like right. Well, like I said, I'm right-handed, so I could lose a finger on this side. I think I'd be okay. I was thinking about that today, actually. So my next project is going to be, I'm making another witch's broom. So I made a witch's broom for you guys. I want to say, I think it was like the third episode of us doing the show. And the broom came out so incredibly pretty, but I went back and I watched the episode and I hate the episode. So I don't think we like had sort of figured out a going. I don't think we had sort of figured out a lot of things, and I also think there's some things I could do to like, is it getting like louder? Am I wrong? There's a big antique wall clock on the wall over there. Oh, is it someone's birthday? Kim. I'm excited. I'm excited to spend my birthday. Kim, happy birthday. Oh, I hope you're having an amazing day. What was I talking about? This is like a conversation with my mom where like if we get distracted, so we have like a game plan of what we do where we if somebody thinks something to say, it's like you have to interrupt the other person so you can get it out there because otherwise you could forget. Did I see the witch's broom? Okay. So anyway, I'm going to do another witch's broom, and we gave away the first one I did. We lived in that tiny little house in California, and so it seemed like if I kept making new things every episode, like I was going to fill the house up. So we were giving away some things right in the beginning. And so this witch's broom is going to be my personal witch's broom. I've been riding around on a Hoover the last couple years, and it's time to get something really custom and nice. So that's the first thing I'm doing, and that's going to be a public episode. And then the second episode that you guys are going to get is I'm going to Salem for Halloween night this year, and I'm going to make my costume. And it's going to be, like I said, I'm making it fast. This is not going to end up in like the Louvre or the Met. So I'm just going to kind of show like, what do you do if you need to make like a really fun gothic-y looking costume in a pinch. So that's going to be the episode. And then that kind of leads into the next thing I was going to tell you is, does anyone plan on going to Salem for Halloween night? Because I'm going to be there. My mom's going to be there. The captive is going to be there. My brother's going to be there. And we're having some friends watch the house to hand out candy. But if you are going to be anywhere in that region, come and see me. Like, I don't know, just find me on the street. I'll be wandering around. It is, okay, so I should probably preface this by saying, you never know with Salem on Halloween night. I've gone, I think, 3 or 4 times, and it's very dependent on like the weather. So last year was the most incredible Halloween I've ever experienced. It was like just the weather was perfect. There were all of these vendors set up, and It's just thousands of people all over the place. It was completely crazy. And then one year I went and it was raining and freezing and nobody was out. So there's always that possibility. But it's still an awesome place to go for Halloween. So if you are free, come to Salem and come say hi and let's like walk around and be silly together. Let's see. Don't they celebrate Halloween for the entire month? I believe it. Glad the captive is going to. Yes, I think he's going to be in costume. So we'll see how that all works out. It's going to be, I will be a witch because I it's my look. It's what I if you find like I don't know, if you make a really really pretty goblin, like you should lean into that and I feel like I'm already a little like Wicked Witch of the West looking and so when I lean into that is when I tend to look my very best. So it's just the look that I that I stick with. Um ooh, let's see. Do you guys have any questions before I get to my list of things to chat about? Ooh, and I should make some tea as well. There's so many things to talk about. So I started collecting a new china pattern and I'm really excited about it. It's Lenox and the pattern is Westchester and it's like this beautiful, it's like gold and they've been doing this pattern I think since like 1915. So obviously as you collect little pieces, they're going to be from totally different times, but it's so beautiful. And so I'm doing all of my dishes like this and they're really fun. Let's see. You need to collaborate with Caitlin Doherty. I do love her. She's wonderful. Because of your embalming table. Did you guys like that embalming table? I finally found something fun to do down there. My friend Nina came out to visit and we had like we could do this, we could do that. And I was like, well, I've got this embalming table downstairs and she had made these costumes for us. So I was like, well, let's just go do that and see what it looks like. And I want to leave everything set up so that when like repair people come, I really shouldn't do that. And I'll tell you why. Um, I have the attic set up looking like a horror movie. So I have the attic set up looking like a horror movie, and we had people come to work on the air conditioner, and this one person didn't like quite do something that like really needed to be done. And so the captive called, and like for some reason they didn't know that he was still on the phone, and he could hear the repair person go, "I'm not going back to that house." And we were like, "Wait, what?" So we're perfectly nice and we tipped him. So I'm assuming it's because there were skeletons all over the place and creepy dolls that are like had their faces melting off. I don't know, it could be anything, but I suspect that it was that. So terrifying repair people is probably a good way to talk yourself out of having any. So, oh, Pretty Sweet is over here. I can hear her crunching. Let's see. You've inspired me to get the china out of storage. Is it Conchetta? I know I'm mispronouncing that, so I apologize. What good does it do sitting in a box? That's how I feel about china. That's unless it's like, I don't know, Vincent Price's china, like, and there's no way to replace it. You should enjoy the nice things in your house. Like I think I use all of the nice things and it's important to kind of use it all the time. You just obviously be careful how you wash it. I only use like the soft sponge side to like wash any antique china. But if you're careful and you hand wash everything, like it's going to be fine. It's meant to be used. And if you don't use it, I mean, I don't know. It's just fun. I'm not organizing or packaging that thought very well, but I think it's very important to use the nice, fancy things in your home frequently, even if it's impractical. Has Chauncey been behaving? Yes, we have him. He's actually right at the front door when people come in. Chauncey's the evil doll that we have in a cage, and he hasn't given us any grief. Let's see. I don't know if she's going to come up. Sweet. Werewolf, my little black kitty, which was a horrible name for her. I think I did a good job on naming all of them except her. Oh, hello. Oh, hello. Anyhow, she's kind of become like my little sweetheart. And she's, here we go. She's gonna make an appearance. Do you want me to move that? I can move that so you can come sit here. I'm officially a cat lady, which I don't know. You know how I feel about this. I think it's the best thing in the world. I think they made those like Kathy comics like when I was a kid to make it seem like it was this terribly sad, depressing thing to have cats, or even like they represented being like single as being sad or like a failure of some kind. And I just think that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Because for one, cats are just so much better than people, as you can see. They do destroy your furniture a little bit, which is, there's no ledge on this couch, so she's doing like some acrobatics right now. You're not supposed. I'm just gonna, oh my gosh. Oh my. They never hiss at each other. I don't know what's happening. Poof. You come over here. Okay. It's Animal Kingdom in here right now. We're hard. Okay. She's just off doing very strange black cat things. And Poof, are you gonna relax? I think he'll relax. Okay. Oh, by the way, never mind. You shouldn't point out. I think I've mentioned this, like you're not supposed to point out your flaws. I was in a like kind of a hurry to like get sitting here today, and I ran out of time to put my hair in rollers. And so I was like trying to do a bunch of stuff right at the very last second. And I was getting frustrated and it wasn't like happening. So then I just threw a headband in, and it might not be like peak hair at the moment, but it happens. You know, what are you going to do? I love this dress. I like found it at a thrift store, and it was all wrinkly and looked totally terrible. But I was like, you know, I think if you ironed that, that could be really nice. I took it home, washed it, and ironed it, and it looks so fancy. I think I got it for like $15 or something. So always be looking for deals. Oh wait, I was going to get my phone because we have all sorts of stuff to talk about. Let's see. I'm trying to think. Oh my gosh. So after we finished the room, I desperately needed some sort of kind of like a break. We had been like locked into the house. We've been here forever. Like normally we go on like maybe like a trip or two, like small ones throughout the year. And I was working on that room so long. I hardly left the house. And so one of the things I should mention, one of the things why it took so long is I was filling multiple episodes into every month that are still coming. Like there's so many. How I did that image of my mom is going to be an episode at some point. The picture of how I did the Richardsons, how I like de-aged them and did all of that stuff. Those are going to get their own like kind of intense episodes where you get to sort of really see what I did, and I'll explain every step along the way so you kind of get a sense of how you can do that yourself. And then there's other things like I painted the carpet and was doing fringe things. So long story short, I was able to get out, bed curtains, the drapes. Those are 2 episodes that are going to be coming out. Probably I want to do like seasonal stuff right now. So you'll be getting those like later next year. But I'm trying to think. The bed one is really exciting because obviously I'll be giving like patterns and things like that. Let's see. I'm trying to think. What was I going to say? I was going to say something. I know what. So we finished the room. I was so excited. And I've been wanting to go to New Orleans. I had not been, I went only like one time with my mom. I think we spent one day and it's so incredibly beautiful. So I was like, we really, and the captive had never been to New Orleans. So we hopped on a plane and we went down to New Orleans. And luckily, the weather was really good. It was obscenely humid, but it is just the most fun place. I think it sort of depends on where you go. It can be a little, there's a lot of like poverty in certain areas, and which obviously I think it might be like the highest murder capital in the US. But the people are so nice and it's so beautiful, and I don't know. So anyway, we went, and one of the things we did was we went to a restaurant called Commander's Palace, which is the most incredible restaurant experience you can have, I think. They Everyone's friendly. It's right across the street from like one of those gigantic old cemeteries. The food is so good. It just like your brain could explode. It's so delicious. And so anyway, I bought their cookbooks. Like so they sell actual books. And there is one dessert called bread pudding souffle. And so it's not plant-based. And it's so incredibly good. I want to see if I can make a plant-based version of it as an episode. So keep an eye out for that. That will be happening at some point. I have to do all of the experimenting, I think, off camera, because that part is just like a gigantic, horrible mess. But if I can master it, it's the best dessert that anyone has ever made and is anywhere on the planet. And I'm saying that with great authority. Let's see. Anna asks, are you vegan? I'm mostly plant-based. In the house, I don't bring anything that isn't like, I don't bring like any dairy or eggs or any of that. But if I go out to like a fancy restaurant, I'll have some dairy, whatever, but I don't ever eat meat. Let's see. I love the guest room, but I'm also excited for some episodes on other things. Madison, that's how I feel. So the episodes that are still coming, I'm going to pepper them in. So like we're going to do Halloween stuff right now. I might do one of those episodes for like November, and then we're going to do Christmas stuff. So I'm trying to think. I have like more episode ideas for things. Let's see. Have I shown the kitchen yet? No, because there's nothing to show yet. That will be coming though. I'm trying to think. Oh my gosh. So Poof like pieced out, but he he left the best part of himself here. Terry, you had a hard time finding vegan food in New Orleans. It wasn't easy. Yeah, it was not easy. But it's so good. Ooh, I did a one of those fan boat rides where you get to like sit on like this boat and it's like a little soap dish looking thing and it's got a huge fan. So there's no propellers in the water and they blast along. You've got like a guide to take you and they blast over like swampland and it's incredible. And like a 14-foot, 13, he said 13 or 14-foot alligator wandered up and they look like monsters. Like they look very scary when you get them really close up. And the guide had gigantic, horrible scars all over his face. And he was like, well, I was swimming with one and things got a little crazy. So they like marshmallows. That's what they were feeding them. They were like luring the alligators with marshmallows and it seemed to work. The big ones didn't need marshmallows because they thought we were the marshmallows. It was really fun. Oh, is it called an airboat? What did I call it? A fan boat? Anyhow, it was amazing. I love that place. We stayed at what's that hotel? It's really pretty. It's called the Montleone, and it's like right there in the thick of things. I went to a fortune teller, and this person, I was all excited to like kind of have like an authentic sort of experience, and I don't think this person knew what they were doing. It was it was real sketchy. And I just kept like, I didn't want them to feel embarrassed. So I was just like, uh-huh, oh yeah, okay. So it was really funny. Okay. Alligators eat marshmallows. They sure do. I don't, so do raccoons. I think just everybody likes marshmallows. That's the lesson to be learned. Did you visit a cemetery in New Orleans? Yes, I did. And what did we do? We took a car. I wanted to see cemetery number 2, which was a few blocks down in a pretty rough area. And what happened? The driver like kind of didn't know where we were going and let us out in sort of the middle of sort of a strange neighborhood. And so we walked kind of through a sketchy area and then went into the cemetery, and it was like disintegrating. Like I've only ever gone to the other like cemetery number 1 where they're like sort of maintaining it and taking care of it, but it's currently closed at the moment. And this cemetery, cemetery number 2, was literally just like crumbling kind of all over the place. It was pretty wild, but so beautiful. So I like that personally. I mean, let's see. Did you go to the Garden District? That's where Commander's Palace is and where those cemeteries are. So the answer is yes. Oh, and that's what I was going to say. I'm so sorry. His hairs are so, it's the worst part about what kind of cat he is, because they're like little cottony things that stick to you and absolutely are untenable. Okay. Let's see. Did I see Anne Rice's grave? I did not. I need to listen. You know what book I'm listening to right now is, it is by Anderson Cooper, and it's about the Astor family. I can tell you what it is. It's just called Astor, and it's really, really, really good. So I would suggest listening to that. Ooh, speaking of recommendations, Gunship, which is my very, very favorite band, just had a brand new album come out. And I mean, they're an amazing band. So of course, like a new album is going to be incredible. So if you like synthwave kind of music that has like a really kind of 80s feel, it's incredible. So I love learning about the Astors. I love anything Gilded Agey. I just think it's just kind of fun to know how things were done, which I had a kettle, like this antique kettle over here just earlier today. And I was like, oh, you know, I've never used that. Like I want to use that for like today. And so I took it downstairs, and I thought it was kind of like a cheap pot metal kind of thing that I was like kind of like a costume antique that I just found somewhere. And I started washing it, and I like flipped it over, and it's from the 1850s, and it's from Bradley and Hubbard, and it's like a really nice antique that I just didn't even know. I got it at like an antique store in California years and years ago, and I don't know why I never like cleaned it or really like looked under it. Let's see. Have I watched The Nick? What is that? I think you would really like it. I don't think I've even heard of that. I can look that up. Are they doing another season of The Gilded Age? Totally. And I think it's going to be coming out really soon. I could be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure. So let's see. Let me look at, ooh, we put in the order for the wallpaper, the owl wallpaper. I was thinking it was going to be shipping out right at the end of October, but it took kind of a longer time to like get their whole purchase order process through. So it's a little bit of a question mark. So if you did order some, it might be shipping out a little bit later, but I'll be notifying anybody about that as soon as I get like a solid date from them. I love the Nick. I have not even heard of this. Okay, well then I'm going to have to check that out. Wait, Netflix's The House of Usher, is that out? I really, really, really want to see that. There's a movie on, I think it's Hulu. It's called No One Will Save You. It's brand new. I really liked it. It's very weird, but it's very, very good, I thought. And then there's a movie, if you like, I grew up watching like American Pie and like kind of goofy, raunchy teen movies. And there's a new movie called Bottoms, which is hysterical. It's sort of making fun of all of those kinds of like John Hughes movies, but it is one of those movies, kind of like it's a running, it's like a theme of these two girls that want to um, lose their virginity before going to college, and they're not straight, and it is hysterical. I think Cindy Crawford's daughter's in it. It's amazing and really, but also super super vulgar. So, which I don't mind. But if you don't like that, just so you know, the Nick, I keep seeing this. I will check that out and I will report back to you. Let's see. Did I see Cobweb? I must be missing all sorts of things. We've kind of been running around. So let's see. Let's see. At the beginning of the month, my mom and her two childhood best friends that she's been friends with since first grade or kindergarten, something like that. I could be wrong about that number, but since they were little kids, um, they all came out and stayed, and they were the first people to stay in the new guest room, and it was really fun. Oh my god, we played the Ouija board, and it worked, and it's never worked before. So we everybody's hands were on it, and it just kept moving, and everybody was taking their hands off, like to see if like one of us was moving it, and always kept moving. And every time I've tried playing that when people come, it doesn't do anything. It just sits there. So it was really, really spooky. It started spelling something out, but then it kept kind of going and saying goodbye. Like, and we would ask it things like, can you tell us who you are? And it would say no. It was really, really strange. So I don't know. It was fun. I liked it. Let's see. A little mom sleepover. Exactly. I have a shy ghost. My mom asked it something like, are you like Christine's guardian angel? My mom's very. And it said yes. So I don't know what that means, but who knows? Let's see. Would you be willing to sell a stencil of the wallpaper from the guest room? I don't. I don't even know how I could go about doing that, but there are bunches of more wallpapers that are actually going to be coming. So let me tell you something. I designed that owl wallpaper, and the wallpaper manufacturer told me like these are our dimensions. And I don't know what I was thinking, but I was like, well, I'm just going to do whatever I want instead. And so they were like, sure, cool, we can do that. But it's going to have to be digital the way they print it. And I didn't know it was so much more expensive to do that. And it has gold in it, which they don't normally do for digital. And so they have to like do all of this stuff. So basically, they are doing exactly what I asked, but it made that wallpaper so expensive that I don't even know that it's currently sold out, and it might stay sold out because it just is what it is. But I'm trying to think. I will be doing all of my other wallpapers through a screen printing process in the future, which makes them dramatically less expensive. So the next time we start doing wallpapers, they're going to be much more reasonable, which I'm very excited about. Oh, let's talk about that contest. Oh my gosh, I spaced on that. So I thought we were going to do the contest for the wallpapers this month, but I really kind of need some time to sort of evaluate, like look through those submissions. And so we're going to be doing that. I want to say I'm doing the witch's broom like tomorrow. I'm starting on it. And as soon as that's done, I'll be posting the contest and we'll just kind of go from there. But I will be announcing the winners of those contests in next month's live stream. And we are going to be doing a Clue movie night as the live stream next month. And I'm going to be dressed up as Yvette the maid. I suggest all of you dress up as well. And it's going to be really, really fun. So I'm going to dress the whole area. It's going to be like a really, really funny one. So keep an ear out for that. Let me check my little thing. Does anyone have any questions? I would love to answer a couple questions. I should get another little sip of tea. And check. Oh, what a shock. My finger is getting worse. I don't know what I thought was going to happen. Someone said Clue is just Rocky Horror told by a sober person. I think that is, that's very apt. I think that's pretty close. Decorating for Halloween. Okay. So I have the most awesomely grand idea of how I want to decorate the exterior of the house. And I'm going to need like 6 months to do that. So, I mean, I hate to say things are certain because stuff comes up and I never really know. But I think it's at the very top of my list of things to pull off next year. So next year's Halloween, if it works out, and I don't want to give anything away, but it's so hard to do the thing that so I've done monster houses before, like on my mom's house, which is a big house, but this house is a little wilder in the front. And I have like an idea for something, and it's gonna be a little I think unhinged is the word that fits. We'll see. So that's my plan. This year I'm just doing pumpkins and fun things. And so there's a project I really desperately want to do that I was inspired by when I was down in New Orleans. There's an episode of like Saturday Night Live where they have these really goofy people that go down there and they come back calling it Nolans. And so I started doing that to be silly. And I have to keep reminding myself that don't call it that. Anyhow, do we get many trick-or-treaters? Shockingly, not very many at this house, which is a tragedy. Where did the scarecrow go? He is in the carriage house, and he will be coming out this year to make an appearance. Can we volunteer to help you decorate? I can't imagine that going well, but thank you so much for offering. I think we're gonna have to actually have like a lift brought in, and it's gonna be like a whole thing to do what I'm planning. Oh my gosh, I was gonna say something. Let me look at my list and maybe that will help me. I know. So I was in New Orleans and I went to this place called the Museum of Death. And I'm not that wild about it, if I'm being honest. Like, it's kind of, what can I say? Sometimes I love scary stories, but there is like a line you can go over that kind of is more voyeuristic or something, of something terrible that's happened to people. And so I don't really like that. But that being said, they had real shrunken heads there and they were really cool looking. And so then I got home and I started like researching how, like, is that like a real thing? What is a shrunken head? And I figured it out. And so they are, it's a real, basically what they've done is they've degloved a head basically, and then shrunk it down on like a little block and just they keep manipulating it as it's drying out. And then that's how you end up with these super unbelievable looking little shrunken heads. And so I want to do an episode where I like make like a fun one. I'm not going to pluck the the skin off the captive's face or anything. But I'm going to use like obviously like artificial stuff to recreate exactly one. And I thought I was going to be able to do that as like a bonus episode this month, like in addition to what I'm already planning. But what I think I might do is like a pilgrim shrunken head for the month of November. This is just an idea I had last night. So if it doesn't happen, like don't come for me. But that is something I think I want to do. I also want to do an episode of making like a voodoo doll, but I tried researching it to see if that's uh, appropriate to be doing. And I kind of was not really seeing anything too compelling. So I could be wrong in calling it that. But I love the idea of it. So I just want to like research that a little bit more before I start going, oh, I'm doing this. But I just think they're really spooky and fun. And I think you could probably do one that instead of like sticking pins in, maybe like you could do it for somebody that you like and you could do nice things to it. Give it, I was going to say give it sponge baths. I don't know what I'm talking. That's horribly creepy. If I found out somebody had made a doll of me and they were giving it sponge baths, and okay, just sometimes I let the thoughts that float around in here jump out of my mouth, and I really need to be careful with that. I think I'm blushing now. Okay. Let me go check my list because I have to make a list to make sure I talk about all of the things that I want to. I'm trying to think. Oh, I think I covered all of those fun little things. Does anyone have a question? Ever thought of making my own tarot cards? I would love to do that. So I kind of would, if I live long enough, I would like to make like my own version of all sorts of things. So I absolutely, I plan on doing that. I'm going to make my own china. I think I'm going to start experimenting a little bit with some pottery stuff like in January. So we'll see how that goes. I've been wanting to get into pottery for so long. I love sculpting things. So it's just kind of like the next step, I think, of that. So we'll see how that goes. I'd love to see how to make a replica of the house. I so desperately want to do that. So I would love to make a doll house of this house that's up in the attic, and then I would just leave it up in the attic forever. I just think that and it would have lights, and it would be so incredibly cool. But I also want to make a gingerbread version of the house, this house. I have lots of ambitious ideas, and I will tell you something that's different from when I started doing this when I think I was like 30 when I started doing kind of like the fun, silly baking, maybe 32. Anyway, I used to be very fast at it. And the things that I was making were kind of a little bit simple. And then what I have found as I've gotten older, I've gotten like so much better at doing all of these things. But how much better you are is irrelevant because if it takes the better or the more work you're putting into something, the longer it takes. So I'm obviously more proud of like the finished result, but now it takes me longer to achieve like something that I'm genuinely kind of in awe of. But I have to keep doing that because it's the thing that amazes me and keeps me excited to keep doing these things. But like I said, the better I get at it, the longer they take me to do. So whereas before I could punch out a cake in maybe like a day, now I'm like, well, I need to do this and I need to do that. And it's all of these things that end up just making them take longer. And then you throw filming on top of that, and filming anything just instantly. Before we started doing this, I was working really, really fast. But when you're on camera, then you have to be like thinking about lights and all of those things. And it does take longer. How are the other fur babies? Nikki and Kim, hello. I'm trying to think. Archimedes seems to be doing good. He lives in the bedroom mostly. I don't know. He seems like he's good. He sleeps and he snuggles with me, so I mean that's all good. But he doesn't seem to venture out of the bedroom too much anymore. And the puppies are just the puppies. We were brushing them out yesterday and giving them baths ourselves. And that's like a whole those dogs are a lot of maintenance, and we haven't been able to find like a groomer that's available. So we've just been doing it and working it out. Oh, he's an old baby. He is. Gertie is wonderful. She's just a goofball. We were just playing downstairs like an hour ago. Let's see. Wait, I have puppies now? Yes, we have two doggies. They would be up here, but Buttons would be trying to like lick the back of my throat and it's just a hole. Okay, another sip. Let's see. What is an artistic skill or medium that I have not tried yet? There's several that I haven't gotten into, like pottery, like I said, that's like a big one. I would love to get into metalwork as far as being able to like make jewelry myself, like really high caliber, little like whatevers. I've like researched it. It looks so tedious, but it's beautiful and jewelry lasts so long. So the idea of making that myself seems incredible. Stained glass. I am dying to get into stained glass. I'm going to do my own casket eventually as an episode. And there's going to be leaded glass going on because nothing is better than Lucy in 1992's Dracula, Bram Stoker's Dracula, by Francis Ford Coppola. And her in that glass casket. I think I'm going to be going for something that's all carved wood and has like beveled glass and things like that going on too. Ooh, an episode of corset making. This is what is so... Oh wait, would I write poetry? I don't think so. I don't feel like... I do like writing, but I've done like little silly things on like the annual cards and things, but I don't think I could do that too well. It's certainly not well enough to be like showing you how to do it without looking preposterous. Ooh, if I went on a spooky road trip, where would I go to? Terry, I would go to, well, I mean, Salem is amazing. I think New Orleans is just incredible. Those are the ones that jump out at me. What about a Fisk casket? Emma, I don't think I've heard of that. So a corset episode, I would love to do. That's what I was going to say. There is no end to the episodes I could do. I'm going to die before I'm able to make an episode for everything I want to do, which is so fun. And I like that this is a career that I can get old doing. So it's kind of funny. I don't know how long you guys will be watching these, but this might end with me like wrinkled and shriveled and like looking really awesome, I hope. I want to let my hair go gray. When it goes gray, I don't know if I'm very vain. So we'll see. But I want to look like an old lady when I'm an old lady. I think it's a beautiful, beautiful look. When I worked at a salon, sometimes women would come in and their hair was all silvery. Who was it? The stepmother from Cinderella. I just think it's one of the most naturally beautiful things that happens to people. And so, do I dye my hair? I do dye my hair now, but I've only got like a little tiny bit of gray. Not enough to like, you go through this phase, I think, where your hair just looks flat if you don't color it. But then when it finally turns like that beautiful, shiny, like silver, that's what I'm hoping for. And if it doesn't happen, if something weird happens, I'll just get like a wig or something. I'm going to have the hair I want eventually, whether it's mine or not. Let's see. My last episode can just hop in a casket and close the lid. We'll see. We'll see how that works out. I would love to do that. Something I'm going to do with my casket, I might have mentioned this already, but I'm holding this. So it's going to be shaped not like a coffin. No, it's going to be shaped like a coffin, not a casket. Caskets are perfectly like rectangular, and coffins have that like sort of shape to them. So it's going to be shaped like a classic coffin. It's going to be bigger than normal. And then it's going to be very tall, as far as I'm going to create drawers underneath me that I'm going to put the remains of my pets into. And then Biggles is going to be like right here on my chest. And so that's the plan. I thought I was having a heart attack like a few months ago. I'm dramatic. I don't know if you guys can tell that or not. And so the captive took me to the emergency room, and it turned out to be like I had like pulled, I think like a trapezoid, some muscle back here that was causing like a really weird sharp pain. And like I've watched so many videos where it's like, don't ignore something like that. Go to, so anyway, we're like, it's like 4 o'clock in the morning. We're on our way to the emergency room. And I told him, I love you. Whatever you do, don't let me be buried without Biggles, like right here. Biggles is my kitty in case. Um, he's my most wonderful kitty that I've ever had. And so he's going to be just resting right here. It's the top priority for me. Let's see, you should do a tarot photo shoot with your interpretation of the cards. I did do a little bit of a tarot read for my mom and her two friends, but it was like, I know them. So it was kind of, I was making up silly stuff, but it was really fun. Let's see. So glad I'm okay. Thank you. I'm dramatic. I know I'm like too dramatic. Okay. Let's see. Oh, Watch Over the Garden Wall. So is that show, The House of Usher, is it out today? Because if it is, I'm watching it tonight. The one with Vincent Price is like kind of one of the big things that got me into like Gothic. I love old Victorian houses that are dusty, and like at the Haunted Mansion at Disneyland, they had that like ballroom that you could go down, or you could see down into, and you could see the people like twirling, and they're all wearing like colors like this, but they're faded and dusty. It's just my very, very, very favorite look. And so that's what I think of when I think of House of Usher. Oh no, it's October. It comes out October 12th. Well, I'll survive. Let's see. Do I have any book recommendations? I love this Aster book that I'm listening to, and I think that's it. I listen to My Favorite Murder all the time as well. Do I plan on going back to the mountain house to repaint anytime soon? I absolutely still plan to do that. I've mentioned before that I don't like the winter here. Everybody warned me, everybody told me, and I thought I knew better. But the winter goes on too long in this area. And so I've been looking for places. So what I'd like to do, I think, is sample a few places during the winter months. And ultimately, if I find a place that's just unbelievable and incredible, I might ultimately try to like buy like a little house there. And then we can sort of spend our time split in between working on this house and then obviously going somewhere different. But if I did that, I want to make it kind of not quite Golden Girls-y, but much more newer than this, more kind of mid-century a little bit, very light and colorful and kind of happy is what I think I'd like. And so I was toying with the idea of trying out Palm Springs. If you guys have any ideas of really nice places that are still nice in like February or something like that, I'm all ears. Let's see. How many people show up in downtown Salem to find Christine? I hope a good amount of you guys. If not for me, just go for yourselves. It's the most fun, ridiculously fun thing. And if you wear a costume that's real, like kind of eye-catching, tons of people want to take pictures with you. I love taking pictures with other people that have done really incredible costumes. It's it feels like the feeling of Halloween is like palpable there. It's so great. Let's see. It's crowded in Salem, right? Oh, right now. And it has been all September. Okay, good. You want a ton of people. It kind of really like lends to that. Like everyone is like us, like you and me. Like it's like our people. It's like the Mecca or the mothership of all of that. People appreciate all of the things that we appreciate. And it's just glorious. any Halloween events or places I miss from Southern California? I miss a lot of things. I'll be honest with you. I was so excited to come here, but I grew up in California. So you're like, oh, I love all of these other things. And it was wonderful being such a quick drive to LA, being such a quick drive, obviously, to visit my family. Um, and there's tons of, I mean, yes, there's tons of wonderful things now. But when it comes, you asked for, I think, did you ask for about Halloween things that I miss in California? I don't know about that because the Halloween things on the East Coast are so incredible. The pumpkin patches. There's a place called Cullen Pumpkin Farm, I think, that's just awesome. And then there's like Pumpkin Junction that's around here. They get really into it and it just looks so for the rest of my life, I will be spending um the fall in like the New Englandy like or East Coast area, I think, because it's just perfect for it. Oh no. Unfortunately, we don't celebrate Halloween much in the Czech Republic. Hannah, then you have to either you have two options. You have to go somewhere that they do, or you have to like just make it happen and maybe be the only person dressed up, which is I'm very okay doing. I strongly recommend anybody be as weird as you possibly want. Life is far too short to be anything else. Okay, let's see. I think we're going to wrap up. My finger, the little tip of my finger is a very nice, pretty dark purple. So we'll see how that works out. And I'm trying to think. So it's going to be a little bit, but you guys are going to get some really fun episodes this month. And like I said, we're going to do a movie night. There's going to be contests. It's just going to be awesome. So thank you so much for tuning in. We've got a ton of fun stuff coming your way. So stay tuned for that. And I'll see you again very soon.